Inflation is the decline of a given currency over time. It is produced from the rate at which the decline in purchasing power occurs and can be reflected in the increase of an average price of goods and services in an economy, signaling that a unit of currency buys less than it did in prior periods of time. This rise in the level of prices is often expressed as a percentage. Enjoy learning, subscribe, like, and share for new videos. An increase in the supply of money is the root causeway of inflation, though this can play out through different mechanisms in the economy. Money supply can be increased by the monetary authorities either by printing or giving away more money to the individuals, by legally devaluing the currency, more by loaning new money as reserve account credits through the banking system by purchasing government bonds from banks on the secondary market. As the money supply increases, the money loses its purchasing power. The mechanisms of how this drives inflation can be classified into three types: demand pull inflation, cost push inflation, and built-in inflation. Demand pull inflation refers to situations where there are not enough products or services being produced to keep up with demand, causing their prices to increase. Cost push inflation, on the other hand, occurs when the cost of producing products and services rises, forcing businesses to raise their prices. Built-in inflation, sometimes referred to as a wage price spiral, occurs when workers demand higher wages to keep up with rising living costs. This in turn causes businesses to raise their prices to offset their rising wage costs, leading to a self-reinforcing loop of wage and price increases. Depending upon the selected set of goods and services used, multiple types of baskets of goods are calculated and tracked as price indexes. The most used price indexes are the Consumer Price Index and the Wholesale Price Index. The Consumer Price Index is a measure that examines the weighted average of prices of a basket of goods and services which are of primary consumer needs. They include transportation, food, and medical care. CPI is calculated by taking price changes for each item in the predetermined basket of goods and averaging them based on their relative weight in the whole basket. The prices in consideration are the retail prices of each item, as available for purchase by the individual citizens. The Wholesale Price Index is another popular measure of inflation, which measures and tracks the changes in the price of goods in the stages before the retail level. While WPI items vary from one country to other, they mostly include items at the producer or wholesale level. For example, it includes cotton prices for raw cotton, cotton yarn, cotton gray goods, and cotton clothing. Enjoy learning, subscribe, like, and share for new videos. The Producer Price Index is a family of indexes that measures the average change in selling prices received by domestic producers of intermediate goods and services over time. The PPI measures price changes from the perspective of the seller and differs from the CPI, which measures price changes from the perspective of the buyer. In all such variants, it is possible that the rise in the price of one component, say oil, cancels out the price decline in another, say wheat, to a certain extent. Overall, each index represents the average weighted price change for the given constituents, which may apply at the overall economy, sector, or commodity level. The question comes down to, can inflation be good or bad? And this all depends on the state of the economy. High inflation is considered bad for an economy, while low inflation, known as deflation, is also considered harmful. Higher inflation harms savers as the purchasing power of the money they have saved declines. However, it can benefit borrowers from the inflation-adjusted value of their outstanding debts shrinking over time. Economists advocate for a low to moderate inflation of around 2% per year.